Kumiko and the Shadowcatchers, Chapter 2. I throw my shoes off at the back door, the way Mother tells me not to, then race inside, socks slipping over the wooden floor. Mother is in the living room mending an old obi-obi beside my obasan, who has fallen asleep with a small white dragon in her lap. Behind them, in the kitchen, bowls and chopsticks float through the air and arrive on the table while the pot stirs itself on the stove. This isn't magic. It's just an invisible dragon. He's my mother's guardian, and even though he's watched over her whole life, she never knew he was there until recently. She's happy to put him to work around the house, but she won't let him take her flying. Not yet. She's new to the whole dragon thing and still afraid of it. I don't tell her about what I just saw at the stream. "Hello, Kumiko. How was school?" she says. I'd almost forgotten about Hatsuo and his big laughing face. "School was fine," I say quickly as I dash into the kitchen. "Psst," I whisper, looking for a sign of the invisible dragon. "Where are you? I want to talk to you." Mother leans back to see me from the living room. "Kumiko," she says, "I hope you're not bothering Bertoli while he's busy making your supper. Besides, I think you have a visitor in your room. There were some loud noises." I don't wait to hear the rest. I rush to the stairs and up them like they're hot coals under my feet. There was a long, spiny tail spilling down the staircase. My little sister Arisu is sitting next to it, wrapping it in the pretty paper I was saving for something special. "Look, Kumi," she beams. "I'm making your dragon so beautiful for you." I growl under my breath and hop past her. Beyond my bedroom door is a mountain of cascading scales. They move gently, like the fans of graceful dancers, in time for the breathing of a giant green dragon. From his snout, smoky breaths have given a bluish gloom to the air, and his crouched rump has knocked all the ornaments from my table. Poor Tomoto is squashed into my room like a horse in a cupboard. This is not his usual spot. Most nights he lies across our roof, with only part of his snout poking in through my window. "Tomoto," I say, squeezing my way to the door. "What are you doing here? It's still daylight." He peers at me through the haze. "I'm here because you were frightened." "Yes," I say, taking a minute to swallow. "But you know why, don't you?" Tomoto nods. As my guardian, it's his duty to watch over me at all times of the day, no matter how far away he is. When I was looking into the stream, he would have seen the same thing I did. Not an old man, but a shadow catcher. "It was the same one," I sigh. "The old shadow catcher from the forest." I try to be calm when I add, "the one who kidnapped Arisu." I keep my voice low so my sister doesn't hear. She pretends she's not afraid of anything, but these days she wriggles into bed with me at night, full of bad dreams. Sometimes I have to remind myself not to think about what might have happened if I hadn't been there to rescue her from that shadow catcher. If the dragons hadn't carried us far away from this horrible cabin in the forest, I'm sure the Grand Kage of the shadow catchers would have stolen her shadow. He would have written her into that book and closed the cover. Then no one would remember she'd ever been a real little girl. No one. Not even me. Tomoto rests his head on my bed. "He was the same shadow catcher, it's true. But you know his memories of that night were wiped away. We made sure of it. He does not remember ever seeing you or Arisu." I sit down against my bedroom wall. "He might not know me," I say bitterly, "but I know him. How can I pretend to forget? How can I live a normal life knowing that I'm never really safe? Knowing that wherever I am, there might be a shadow catcher nearby? You said yourself that they want to find our family more than anything, that they want the power we have. How can you be so sure that we won't be discovered again?" It is the first time I've ever seen Tomoto without an answer. He looks at me with a steady stream of smoke rising out of his snout. I put my hand on his snout. "I want to be free of the shadow catchers," I say. "I want to stop them and get rid of them forever, so no one has to be afraid of them anymore. You know everything, Tomoto, so tell me, do you think that there's a way?" In his big yellow eyes, which look like golden circles of the setting sun, I see something stirring. There is a waver, something like the infinite ripples made when a leaf falls into a pond. He says, "I am not the one to ask, Kumiko. But there is somewhere I can take you which has more answers than I could ever offer. And that is to see the Council of Ancients." "The Council of Ancients," I repeat. "What's that?" "It is a group of the oldest dragons in the world. They exist to serve the Dragon King and to keep a record of all things. If you seek their counsel, they must meet with you because you are descended from the last Dragon King and are a carrier of the great magic." There is more I want to know, especially why it was that I had not heard of this Council of Ancients before. I thought I knew all the dragons that lived in the Dragon Kingdom, high amongst the clouds. "If you think they might have an answer for me, I want to meet with this council, as soon as possible," I say. "Then you will meet them tonight," Tomoto replies with a grin, "as soon as it grows dark enough to leave." As Mother calls me downstairs for supper, I look past Tomoto towards the outline of my small window, and it occurs to me that he couldn't possibly fit back through. "How will you get out?" I ask. With a smoky chuckle, he says, "The same way I got in, with difficulty." Then with a gentle nudge, he pushes me out the door and down the stairs for supper. That brings us to chapter 3.